お願いします。
Start shoulder width apart. Just loosen the body up a little bit. Just working with a vertical. Keep the arms nice and loose. And just try and release into the ground. Working with the forwards and backwards movement. And then just play with the feet so they can stay in the ground flat. Or you can work in the toes and in the heels. Moving forwards and backwards. Side. And just play with the feet so you can keep them flat down. Or you can just move them in and out. I'm just going to a rotation. And it's working with a nice big wave through the whole spine. Okay, we just go to the neck, so just pressing the chin down to the chest. And then stretching right up, extending through the jaw. And to the back. And again. Chin to chest. Chin to chest. And stretching up. Okay, just to one side, to the ear. And change. Again. Again. Okay, using the hands and the head, just pressing down a little bit more, just on the back of the head. And then keep the hands where they are, just stretch the neck up. And stretch the body up as well. And again, really close the body down, bringing the elbows down. And then open everything up, stretch up to the top. Good. Okay, just using one hand on the side. Nice gentle pressure down. And release and then change sides. And one more time, each side. And again. Good. Just loosening it off nice and lightly, just work in circles. And change the rotation. Good. Okay, we just work with the chest here, so just using the direction, just press the chest forward, far out as you can. Here. And then pull it backwards, so pressing, kind of collapsing in, as if you're being pulled back. Really close it down. Good, and then working the side, just going to the left, just stretching it out. And keep the hips nice and stable. Pull it out, and to the other side. And then just one more time, put to the front. Push forward, to the back, pulling back. To one side, stretching over, and to the other. And now just roll in all the directions. Really try and make the chest flexible. So using all the directions, front, back, left and right. And we'll just soften the movements. Try and create some mobility in the torso. Good. Okay, do the same thing with the shoulders, just stretching them up, like kind of shrugging up to the ears. Okay, draw them down, keeping the shoulder blades back, pull them down. Okay, roll them into the back, bring the shoulder blades together. And then pulling them forwards, kind of rounding the back a little bit. Yeah, and again, coming up, shrugging to the shoulders, dropping down, flattening the shoulder blades, drawing them back, and then pulling them forwards. Good. And again, just mix them in, nice big circles, so the full range of motion. Up, back, down, into the front. And then just change the direction, moving forward. Okay, just to soften the arms up, use the hips and just draw a figure of 8 pattern in the arms. Okay, good. We go to the hips. So in this case, you're going to tilt the hips forward. Again, just trying to get the full range of motion in this part. So really tilt the hips forward. Okay, roll them back as if you're kind of tilting them back this way, kind of hollowing out the body a little bit at the front. And then try raising the hips up. So if you're kind of pulling the hip out of the floor, try not to kind of just lift the leg, but really try and pull the hip up. So one hip's now higher than the other. And just feel that the foot gets pulled out of the ground automatically. And then changing the side, as you sink one down, And just raise one hip up. Just comes up out of the ground here. That's it. And then the same, just tilt the hips forwards. And then arcing the back. And then tilting them inside, round in the front of the body. And then over one side, raising the hip up. And the other. Yeah. And then just work with the hips in a figure of 8. Nice and loose. And really trying to use the full range of motion in both hips. I really feel the hips are independent, but also connected. Yeah. Good. And then just go to nice big circles. The hips. A nice full range of motion forwards, backwards, and to the sides. And change. Just go to the knees, just nice small circles. As much as you can, keep the feet flat and try and really mobilize also the ankles. And change direction. Stretching the leg back. And dropping forward. And stretching back again. One more time, forwards, bending the knees. Okay, good. Just working the ankles. You try and mobilize everything, whole foot. And then bring the toes up and just press the ball of the foot into the ground. Good. Kick the toes over, nice and gently. Just work the toes in circles. Hardly any weight in them. Just loosen them up a little bit. And shake that foot out. And go to the other side. And again, just fold the toes up. Press the ball. And fold the toes over underneath. Just work them. Okay, good. Just feet a little bit wider. Just rocking side to side, the legs. And then coming all the way down, just holding it straight in one leg. And change. And then use the same position, use the hands in the ground and have the feeling of pulling the hips beyond the back leg. So normally we're kind of using this foot as a support for the hips. Just use the hands, pull the hips back. You've got a kind of triangle with this foot, and the hip. Pull it back and use the hands just as a counterweight. I'm just really trying to open this hip up. Good, and then change. Pull the hips back beyond the feet. Stretch the hands out. Good. Okay, coming back. So now centering the hips on the foot, just bring the toe up. And change. Okay. And change. Raising both. As much as you can, pressing backwards to here. The hands on the feet. Trying to keep the back as straight as you can. So straight and length. Pull the top of the head up to the neck. So kind of lengthen through the neck. And what you can do here is just raise the hips back up. Come up to this position. Doesn't really matter what you do with the hands. This is really focused on the hips. So if you need to use the hands as a support, what you do is just come down into this position. Here, keeping the back as straight as possible. Just come into here and then raising back up. You do about 6, 7. Just pull the hips down. Here, coming back up. Again, if you need to use the hands as a support, you're trying to flex into the hips. That's 5. Just do one more. Stretching down. And at the bottom, just hold it. And if you can, in this case, use the elbows, press them into the ground. And let the head just sit into the hands. As much as you can, keep the back as straight as possible. It's going to round a little bit, but try and lengthen through it. And you're just going to come to one side, with both hands to the feet. And just walk them back over to the other side. Back to the center, and then just walk the hands forward, just until you're kind of in the fingertips. Again, try and create length through the body. You're going to do it by pulling the hips away from the hands. You just bring one hand forward a little bit so that you can get the palm of the hand into the ground. And basically the shoulders resting down into the hand. And then from here, you want to trace up the arm with one hand, pull the elbow up, and then straighten the hand up. And just bring it back. Trace it back down, all the way up. Really try and twist the torso up here, and then straighten the hand out towards the ceiling. And again, just about 5 or 6 on side. And really try and expand open the chest. Keep the breath nice and deep. Just one more on this side. Good. And then placing the other hand down. Nice and solid. And again, just trace up the arm. Open the torso up. And point towards the ceiling. Just one more. Okay, just bring both hands back down. Stretch a little bit more. And back. Okay, nice and slowly bring the hands and the feet towards each other. Yeah, he's going to change angle. If you can, keep the legs as straight as you can, and if you can, bring the palms into the ground. If you can't, just so you can get the palms into the and really try and release the neck in this one towards the ground. Just hold it a little bit.
Okay, walk the hands forward a little bit. Okay, and walk the feet back a little bit, a couple of steps. If you can, keep the heels flat on the ground. If you can't, it doesn't matter, but yeah, and then whatever, press the heels, alternated. And try and create length down the body. So this is about pressing the heels, but it's also about creating length down one side. Imagine one side's lengthening, the side that you're pressing the heel, kind of really lengthen it into the ground. Good. And then nice and slowly bringing the knees up and back. Good. Bring the body back. Yeah, now you're going to go from here, bend the knees, bring the body through, stretch through, and stretch the body up here to this position. Once you got to this position, just release back up, pull the hips up, stretch back through to here. Okay, so you bend the knees, go towards the hands. If you need to use the ground with the knees, but if not, do this off the ground. And then pull the hips back up. And it's nice and slow, really control the breath. Then bend the knees, bring the body through. Chest, pull it up, and pull up. Just about 5, that's 3, 4, and then last one. Okay, good. Bring the knees to the ground. Yeah, just stretch the hands down, forwards. Sink the hips into the wall. Good. Okay, coming into kind of tabletop, 4 legs, knees and feet are in the ground. Okay, bring with the opposite arm through, stretch it through, all the way through until you can reach the shoulder into the ground. Through to here. Hopefully you can see. And bring it through. Just give you 5 each side, so roll the arm through. Bring the shoulder to the ground. And draw it back up. And one more. And just change sides. And roll the arm through, bring the shoulder to the ground. And one more. Okay, good. Just for the hamstrings, quads, just bring the arms back and just bend down backwards as far as you can, far as comfortable. If you head to the elbows, it's good. If this is really comfortable, just bring the whole body down, right into the ground. And just hold it wherever you are. And draw the body back up. Okay, good. Just work the hips a little bit more. Just come into a nice kind of deep lunge position. Back heel's just off the ground a little bit wide. Good. Use the side. And change. This time keeping the width. Draw the, so the foot's a bit wider than the knees, but a bit more forward than the knee. Legs back and stretch through the back hip. Yeah. Now, if you can, from this position, pick the toes up and stretch up through the back leg, and then drop it down. You can, in this case, use the hands if you need us to support. Better if you don't, but just trying to activate the lower side of the body. So pick the toes up, stretch the body up.
hold it, and down. Really difficult. Just one more. And down. And then nice and slowly just change sides. So again, create a nice deep lunge. And bring the knee down. Yeah, and then just bring the knee back up. Raise up, sink the hips. Raise up, hold it. Couple of seconds and then drop it. And one more. Good. Okay, just coming down to the ground. You're just going to basically in a sit position like this. Okay, you're going to bring one knee down to the ground, this way inside, and this knee comes outside this way. You come into kind of 90 degrees with the legs. Use the hands as support, just come back into sitting, and then drop the knees back to the ground. If you can, both legs, both knees touch the ground. Just nice and slow. Sink the hips down. And coming back up. Okay, good. And then this time, sink the hips down. What I want to do is try and raise this foot off the ground so that the foot that's in front of you, try and raise the foot off the ground. Just a couple of inches. And then drop it. Just 5 times. There. If you can't, just intend to raise it. Just to try and activate this. Activate the muscles. One more time. There. Okay, change sides. The same thing. Try and raise it. 2, 3, 4, 1 more. Clap. Good. Okay, we're going to do now with the body. Come to this position, and then you're going to raise the hips up. So you're going to come to here. Sink down. A little bit more dynamic. Bring the knees down. Bring the hips up. Bring the hips down. Just a few more. Good. Okay, just coming to a basic backwards falling position. So we really use the hands, nice and slow. Roll the body down and come back up. Now keep a sense of length in the spine. We'll try to create the movement in the hips. And nice. As much contact with the ground as you can. Slowing down. Use the breath as you do it. Breathing out as you come down. And breathing in as you come up. Try not to hold your breath at any point. Just do about 10 more. It's about 50.
Two more. Good. Okay, good. We'll just do a little bit forward. Just really slow. And just do about 4 at a time. So do about 4 and then take a break with it. So press the arms to the ground. Really just soften through the body. Extension, drop the shoulder. Curl the body through. And refine it. Go up down. And the ground. And try and maximize the contact. Keep the breath going. Breathing out as you go. About 4. Just take a little break. And then do 4 more. Okay, good. So now just explore from a standing position. Any kind of roll you like, or just kind of coming down to the ground and coming back up. But just explore becoming starting in a standing position. Coming into the ground. Rolling in and raising it through the body. Just again, take it nice and slow. In this case, just take a few steps between each one. You can walk down your mat a few times. Just have a sense of spiraling into the ground. Rolling down, find at the feet, and raising the body back up. Do this as easy as you can. Never straight. And make it really effortless. Different ways of coming up the ground, different angles of the roll. Nice. Okay, good. Just shake the body out a little bit. Into a wrist. Circling the arms to the front. And just go to the whole body. Shake everything out. Okay, good. So take a bokken. A little bit of bokken. Okay, good. So just coming into Kamai. Yeah, we just go straight into the first Suburi. So
really find the back and then sink the body down. Find the back, sink down. Really try and ground the movements. Nice and relaxed, really big, clear movements. Okay, good. So most of you done this movement really a lot of times, so thousands and thousands of times. There's kind of good points and bad points about that, but one of them is you get stuck into a kind of pattern of doing dum, dum, dum. So everything's moving together, but in a kind of locked way. So in this case, just to create a little bit of flexibility, what I want you to do is really find the ground first with the bucket. Forget the cut. So all the focus tends to go to the cut, but actually what you're doing is really trying to impact in the ground with the body. So just in this case, find this position. So the hips, the center of the body is really grounded, and then from here the cut comes in. So just get a feeling for the hips hitting the ground. You come back, hips hit the ground. So my priority is really in the body, this way, but not in the sword coming to here. So just to kind of break this pattern a little bit, find this position. So really, as if you're kind of hitting the hips into the ground, this. And then you can just release the cut here. But just to bring the movement back into the body a little bit, more into the hips. So really let the sword be guided by the hips. That's it. Okay, good. Just try and come back into the saburi. Really feel that before the cut happens, the hips have already grounded. So the hips ground out, and then the cut comes in. So the hips are there, and then come in. I'm really trying to stabilize in the center, and then the hands come into it. Try and avoid, in this case, this. The hips are kind of being pulled out by the sword. So if the hips aren't stable by the time the impact or the focus comes in, they get pulled out all the time. So just have the sense of the hips grounded, and do whatever you need to do to find the hip, and find the focus. So it's something kind of flexible in the body. But the hips, the body needs to be really grounded before the focus. Yeah, okay. Good. Okay, good. So kind of come in and out of the lower bokken today. So in this case, just imagine you've got the sword. So it's just to take the sword away from it. In the sense, coming into Kamachi here, just raising up and then swinging down here. Raising up, swinging down. So really imagine the swords are in the position of the hands are in the position of the sword. Raise them up and sink them down. Really, really looking for now to introduce a little bit of cocky work into the wrist. So the wrist really flexible at this point. Reaching up, sinking the hips down. Again, the focus is really now just in the body, so sinking the hips down. Sink the hips down. That's so sometimes reveals the way we use the body. So in this case, what's happened a little bit is the hands are going first, and the hands are going first in this position. So if I raise the hands first, I'm basically breaking the structure that we use, which is ground, hips, hands. So really try and have the sense of the feet, the pressure from the feet raises the hands. Now, as soon as you move, everything's moving. So it looks like the hands move first, but it's actually the feeling that the center raises the hands. So just get a sense of this coordination. And again, do whatever you need to do. You can do this kind of flexibly. But have the sense of the pressure in the feet builds, and this raises the hands. Now from here, the pressure sinks into the ground, drops the hands down. So really feel that the center, the core of the body is really leading the periphery. And do this really slow so you can feel it. So either the hands go first or the center leads. Center leads. Center leads. That's yeah, good. That's yeah, good. That's, good. So we change it a little bit now. This is more relevant to the taijutsu work. So now the hands are a little bit wider. So you're using the width in the arms. You're going to raise up in this position. And then from here, sink down and find this kind of tiny hinko position. So very similar to the sword cutting position. In this case, the arms are wider. So the arms are about the same line as the shoulders through the moves. So the arms align with the shoulders. And then feel that you drop the elbows, sink the hip in. So the same raising up, drop the hip in. A little bit further back. You can use the feet, drop the hips in. Again, all the focus is on the hips. Hips first, hands. Hips first, hands. Hips, hands. So, nice. Okay, good. So I just went through a few points with this. Just look at the position of the elbows. So when you do this, be careful of doing this. The elbows are really close into the body and kind of jammed up into the body. And the hands are trying to find width when the elbows are already tight in. So have the sense of there's an arc through the arm here, and this arc stays here. So through the whole movement, there's an arc through the arm. There's not a sense of tightening the arm. So it's not a sense of straightening the arm. The same you do with the sword, you don't straighten the arms out this way. So you keep a kind of natural kind of arc through the arm all the time. So we use this kind of arc. So have the sense of all the way through, there's a sense of extension through an arc in the body this way. This hopefully should help fix this kind of problem where you do this. The arms kind of stretch out. So have the sense of the width in the body as you do it. And really a sense of an arc through both arms all the time. Arc up and an arc down this way. Yeah, good. That's it. Nice. Good. And another point about this, just look at the priority in the joint. So when you do the movement, be careful you're not actually, again, starting in the hand, but actually moving the arm from the hand. You get this kind of movement. So the arm move and then the shoulder and then the elbow and then the shoulder. Have the sense of the movements coming from the shoulder to the elbow and then out into the hand. So you've got a sense of the chain moves down the arm this way. The same as it comes up, the shoulder, elbow, hand, shoulder, elbow, hand, shoulder, elbow, hand. So you've got a sense of a kind of wave moves through it rather than this, which is basically moving the hand and expecting the whole arm to follow. So have the sense that the hand is moved by the connections before it. So just have a sense of finding this connection. And you can do it really easily, just prioritize the elbows. So just prioritize the elbows over the hand, elbows over hand, elbows over hands. So, and just try and create a kind of chain of movement through the joint. So, just play with it a little bit. You've got to kind of break the form a little bit as well. So just play a little bit with the movements. Stop. Good. That's it. Good, good, good. Okay. Nice. Okay, good. And then just go to the center of the focus. So in the slaughter, it's very kind of obvious. You're kind of closing the grip onto the hand so that the focus comes in the grip. So in this case, you're not doing a grip. So what you do with the hands is this. There's a sense of, again, focusing into the hands and really finding this kind of position. There's two kind of tendencies overall, is to do either this, curl the hands back, or to do this, open the palms out. Imagine this is a nice image in this case of having a kind of water drop in the hand. So there's a sense of this, where you can kind of collect something into the hands. So it's open and expanded, but also in a sense, holding something. So it's got this kind of quality. I don't want to kind of do this where it's kind of dribbling away. I don't want to do this where it's dribbling out. So have a sense of this. So there's really a sense of focusing in the palm, and the fingers expand. This and this, this and this. But again, you want a sense of focus through the body. So the center initiates it, and you focus it. So you can just play with the form a little bit, just to get the sense of focusing in the hands. They should feel really open and expansive, and very heavy, like they're connected into the ground totally. Down, 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 down. That's nice, nice, nice. Good. 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 Okay, good. And there's two kind of patterns in the sword. We talk about this sometimes. It's like dribbling and bouncing back up. The usual one that happens is a sense of dribbling through the cut. Dribbling. Or the other one is a kind of sense of bounce back up through the body. There's a sense of impact and then bounce up in the body. But in both cases, because the hips aren't really stable, so just try and have a sense, these same patterns happen in the handwork. So there's a sense of dribbling through it, or there's a sense of kind of bouncing back up through the impact. So again, just go back to the hips and feel that the hips ground the hand. Hips ground the hands. Basically, if I'm grounding the hips first, and then the hands, this should kind of disappear, or should minimize the movement. We just have a sense of now, really sense of solidity, the hands. But nothing really changes in the hands at the end. They don't really, it's as if, imagine there's a table in front of you, you just place the hand on top of it. Place the hand on top of it. But it's done with a sense of weight through the hip, and not a sense of being rigid. So don't try and stop the dribble, or the bounce back up, but just try and settle the hips more. It's really just a question of grounding more. Find the ground, this way. This way. That's it. Yeah, good, good, good. That's it. Nice, nice, nice. Good. Great. Good. That's it. Great. Okay, good. We'll go back to Bokken. So these are really foundation training with the first we're in this kind of tiny hand position. These are really basic kind of blueprints we apply all over, so it's worth spending a little bit of time on them. We'll just go now into Zengo Kirisa. Just find the back, find the cut, and then come to the left side. And again, just really focus on the grounding each cut, draining the body down. And there's special attention in the rotation, sinking the body down. So the sense of raising the sword through sinking the body, or sinking the feeling, so the feeling sinks. Down. Down. That's nice. Great. And now just take it to Shiho, so cutting in 4 directions. Okay, take it nice and slow, ground the body. Especially now in this third movement. Ground the body down. And down. Good. Okay, so we just go back again without the bucket, just empty-handed. So just start with 2 directions, just from this position, nice and neutral, with sense of expansion out. And then from here, just come straight into the movement, bring the hips through. And then from here, release to the back, and find again another spiral. So just come into here, press the hips down, coil in, fly the hip, coil in, fly the hip. And you're just working on copy movements. Again, really try and work through the hips. So apply the hip, work into the handwork. So the main problem with the cookie work is the tendency to do this with the hands, push the hands out. So in a sense, over rotate through this way. And basically then you're going to a sense of pushing so that the hands basically against the joint. Really get a sense that you're rolling through it so that the little finger and this part of the hand is really rolling forward. So this is where the sword work comes into the movement or comes from the movement. It's more round, but I don't come into this position, this way. So really get a sense that you can basically do this 2 ways. Think of the thumbs leading the body out this way, and then when you come to this position, think of the little finger coiling in the body. So there's a sense of the little finger through the elbow into the underside of the arm this way. So in both sides, there's a sense of this. So think of this, and the wrist is really mobile this way, but it's not doing that this way. Just have a sense of that. In Japanese, they call it the tegatana, it's the kind of hand blade. This is the kind of sharp part of the hand. So just play with it a little bit, create a little bit more mobility in the hand, and come to this position. This way. Fast. we'll do the same thing we did the bokken, just come into 4 directions. So starting front to the back, and then rotating out here. And then back to the front here. And in this case, you can do left side, right side. Coil in, coil to the back. Here, here. We'll just play these 4 directions all the time, applying the hips through the hands. Nice. This goes a little bit back to the hand position, but there's also a sense in the koki work of pushing out. So in a sense, kind of coming here and then pushing the hands out. Have the sense rather than pushing out, you're actually coiling the body down. So in a sense, this extension actually stays the same with the body. It's just you're changing the relationship with it. So you come into this position. But in a sense, what you're not doing is pushing the hand away from the center. But in a sense, what you're doing is coiling into a spiral. So you're kind of really spiraling the body. So it's really spiraling down this way, but not doing this. I'm basically pulling the body in 2 directions. You're just doing one thing. So it's just a coil in, and the expansion happens because of the extension through the arm. So there's a sense of extension and another sense of pushing. Hopefully it's really clear. So just get a sense of spiraling down, spiraling down, spiraling down, spiraling down. Just a few more. Let's try. That's it. Yeah, good. That's it. Yeah, nice. Okay, good. Okay, we'll come back to the bokken. Just nice and simple, coming into the second sumuru. So really focus in this case on nice, easy kamae, nice, gentle body grounded down. And then the ability in this case just to roll back the body. Really center, ground the front foot, press the body in and apply the hips. But really in this case, focus on the hip work. So in the sense of really connecting the hips into the ground and let the hands just follow this way. All the time the focus tends to go into the cup, but really have the sense of the hips on the ground, rolling back, hips pressing forward. But really try and prioritize the center, again over the board. So. Good. Okay, good. We'll do a couple of patterns with this movement, cutting front and back. So the first one, you always come back, cut down here. Now from here, I want you to just spiral to the back, raise the sword up into the giant arm. Find the back, cut down. So in each case, just coil, find the top. Keep a kind of 45-degree angle. This is really easy to come into this position. Yeah, but have a sense of rolling up, spiraling underneath the sword here, cutting down, coiling up, cutting down. Again, really prioritizing the hip work. Hips lead the hands. Hips lead the hands. Yeah. Just play with this in 2 directions. Good. Good, good. Okay, we'll do one more pattern with this. So you come back again, find the right side. Now in this case, rather than rotating this way, over to this side, come with the back foot, step in, and then rotate to the back this way. We're still always cutting on the right side of the body, but in this case, bring the left side in, coil in, and find the come on. Cut in. So it's always the back foot coming in, cutting down, back foot in, cutting down. Really try and center the body through the rotation. Soften the body, find the extension. Soften the body, find the extension. Yeah, nice. Nice. Good.
Michael, so this the other way around. I find, okay, first I find connection with the hip, the first move, and then in the middle I lose it, and then when I'm going up, I catch it again. But in the middle, I can't find the connection with my hip and the sword. When we're doing...
Let me see.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know if it's visible. Okay. So I was in this position.
Yeah, you come.
I have to move my cat.
Okay, yeah, good. Yeah, just keep the feet. You start with this. It's this sense of losing the ground a little bit. So in a sense, again, don't let the arms take over. So the sense of coming here, you've got the ground, and then as soon as you go to the arms, that starts to pull the body up a little bit, and then you can
there the arm is taking over in the middle because I find it difficult to, because when I'm doing rotation, I find it difficult to connect my hip to the weapon.
it's a big point in the rotation because what's happening, especially when we do arm work, this is actually why we're doing this move also, because it challenges the ability to ground. As soon as we do arm work, especially coming up, the tendency is to lock into the body. So just really see if you can access the back of the body and try and really drain down with it. So the feeling's it's based in the, you can also just go back to the second Taburi basic, and it's the sense of the sword being raised through the center, this way. So as the amount that I raise the sword, I'm really draining down.
But it feels easy when you're stable, kind of stable. When you're rotating, it's.
Exactly. So from a stable position, just stepping back, and then a rotation here, and then a rotation here. So they get more complex.
It does.
It's the ground more, but that's good. So just explore the 3 levels. So you've got this one just going back, but all the time you've got grounding the body down.
Okay. I'll do my best.
And just really program it so the body's like sink, 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 down, 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 down. So just try and ground the body.
Okay, thanks.
Just don't let it take over. That's the kind of key to it. But easier said than done. I know.
Okay, thanks.
Right. Yeah, good. Okay, good. So we'll explore these moves again with the empty hand. So these are really easy. So they follow the same basic pattern. Keep the extension out here, and then you're going to sink the body back. Again, really lead with the hips. Sink the body back. I'm going to come into this position now. So the elbows are really heavy. Yeah, it's not really a Tanahiko position. It's just here, and then what you do is curl the body forward this way. So it's really just think of the movements from the second Saburi. Coil the hips back. Find this position, really grounded, and then just sinking the weight through the front foot. Coiling in now with a spiral. So now you're working much more with a sense of circular koku work. There's a sense of now opening out to the back and then closing in, pressing forward. So just play with this pattern. You can also do this left and right side. Ooh, let's keep it simple. We can stick to the right. You keep the sense of the elbows being heavy. Connect the handwork into the hips. And just really look to kind of, you're slightly now rounding off the work of the sword. It's a lot now more circular. But the body work's almost identical. So that's it. Okay, good. Good. And again, you can think in terms of the thumbs and the little fingers. So in this case, it's like the thumb leads the first move, rolling back. So kind of opening movement with the body this way. And then it's a sense that the little finger comes in. The little finger comes in and curls in this way. So think in terms of the thumbs, basically opening the body out, widening the body, and then closing the body in here with a sense of extension. But you can just use these as kind of a guide with the thumbs, with little fingers. Thumbs and little fingers. Little fingers. Nice. Yeah. Good. Good. Okay, so we'll play with these patterns and then mix them in. So the first one, just come back here. And then from here, every time you're just going to rotate to the inside, coil the body down, and then press forward. Coil the body down, press forward. So now you're rotating to the inside, here, sink into the back leg, and then press through. press in, press through. It's going to become a little bit more circular now. A little bit more fluid. Again, try and weight the body down, draining down, 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 all the time. So as much as the focus is on the hands and out, think of the feet and down, down. Good. Okay, good. And then again, playing with with the back leg rotating in. So when you finish right side forward, the left leg's going to come in and coil to the back this way, and then press in. A nice big movement, spiral into the ground, open the body up, and then press in this way. Coil in, press forward. Coil in, press forward. All the time with the center extension. Open now, pressing in. Open now, pressing in. So. That's so nice. Okay, good. So I'll do one last movement with the sword, with the hook. In this case, just playing with the slicing move. So just in this case, keep the right side forward. You're going to slice out to the right side here, and then bring this hold with you. Just make a yokomen in this case here. Just playing with a slice and a yokomen. So out to the side, connecting here, and then from here, just release the connection from the feet, and find the yokomen here. And just play with it. The sense of really slicing out into the ground. Connecting it, cutting down. Keeping the right side forward each time. So. That. And in this case, just open the root out a lot more. In this case, coming from the back side, just slicing through. And then from here, open this movement out as well. So you're going to step in, cut down this way. So we've got two big rotation movements. So you're coming in from the back side, slicing. Stepping from the back side again, here, rotate in and cut down this way. You're going to slice in the open, really big movements. Slide. Cut. Especially in rotation, you try and center the body. Drain down. So, drain down. Yeah. Okay, good. And we'll just finish with the next side with the walking. So just here, right side forward, the same idea. So rolling out to the side. This time bring the hand across. You can do like an Aikido. So take the hand here and then coil in, apply the hip, press through and then step with the body this way. This left side, right side, or if you want, just keep it to the right side. So here to the side, coil underneath. So again, the movement's coming from the ground, release. Here, find the hip and pressing through. Just a nice basic Aikido movement. Good, and last one, now a lot more flexible. You can come in from the back leg, coiling to the back, and then from here, back leg again, coiling in, roll to the back this way. More like a Buddha version. Coil into the back this way, open it out, and then here. So really big movements now. Yeah, really got on ground in the body, prioritizing the lower body over the upper body. Yeah, good. And then the last minute or so, just really play with both of these forms and just move kind of flexibly around. Move around, you can move to the side, into the ura, you can go inside, and to the mode. Just really play with it. Keep the body nice and flexible, so keep the speed where I can maintain a sense of flexibility through the movements. If anything else comes up, just go for it. If you can keep it 3 here. Stop. Okie dokie. Good, we'll stop there. Very good. Arigato.
Domo, arigato gozaimasu.
Good. Thank you so much.